Hey everybody, I'm back for another, we're gonna call it prep and chat. I'm working on prepping my technology standards display. It'll be a really good bulletin board display. And my awesome friend Stephanie over at Mrs. D's Corner taught me how to flip this, so now when I hold papers up, you'll actually be able to read them too. Am I right? Yay! How cute. Okay, so we have all of our standards for the ISTE standards for students. I made into a poster with a standard on the top, an icon that represents it, the wording from ISTE that explains the standard, and a quick phrase for students to understand, which is really fun. So color-coded to match the technology decor set that I worked on with Jen from Cupcakes and Curriculum, and it is excellent. Oh my goodness, the whole set is so cute. So I have one of these posters for each of the standards, and I printed these out full page, full size. If you follow me on Instagram, I gave kind of a little bit of background to this earlier today when I was printing the stuff to show. Tells me I can swipe left to see who's here with me. I'm just figuring all this stuff out. Okay. I can like put GIFs on here. This is so much fun. Okay. Now we're good. Who's here with me? Let me know who's here. What you're doing today, where you're from if I don't know you. Swipe left. There we go. There's a few people here. Thanks for joining me for prep and chat. Okay, anyway, what I also have that I need to cut out, I printed these 4 to a page. So you can look in your printer settings to see how to print multiple on a sheet instead of taking up the full thing. But all the letters are gonna spell out, I am a digital age learner. So that'll be the top of the display. Great for a bulletin board or classroom door or any display that you have. So I have to cut these out, and then I'm going to laminate these ones. I can't decide if I want to laminate these because I feel like it's not going to be a year-long bulletin board. It'll just be like at the beginning of the year to talk about it, but I can't decide yet. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of work on this. My laminator's heating up, and I have to cut out all of these letters. Since I printed them smaller, I want to cut before I laminate. But I'm sure you all already knew that. So let's chat. What is the first teaching unit that you like to do to get the school year started? So like after the first day or first session with each group, I should say, because if you're a tech teacher, that lasts a week or so. What unit do you like to do next? I know when I first started, it made sense to start with digital citizenship or internet safety, but then as the years went on, I decided to do that at different times of the year with different age groups because it just worked better. So for example, with 4th and 5th grade, I like to jump right into online research, like how to Google, how to tell if a website, evaluate, that's the word I was looking for, how to evaluate a website, to know if it is a good one to use for research. So we always started with that, and then we would also learn how to like troubleshoot, because by 4th and 5th grade I would want them to be a lot more independent. Look how cute. It's gonna be so cute. But I want to cut these apart so that then I can put them in lamination. Let me see if has anybody commented? There we go. Hey Justine and Joan, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I wonder if anybody has any questions for me that I can answer about getting ready at the beginning of the year. I know it like blew my mind how little time is available. And the half of the problem is that if you're the tech teacher and also the tech fixer, for some reason at the beginning of the school year, nobody's projector bulbs work. Nobody nobody left their computer shut down over the summer, so they're trying to log back into their computer and it needs to run all these updates, and they're panicking because they need their computers for things, and I just ended up spending most of my days out helping other people, so I didn't have a lot of time to prep my own stuff. So I ended up having to do some of it over the summer. I'm really excited about this Tech Day core set because I've never had something so cute and like timeless. These colors are not going to be going out of style anytime soon, right? Black, white, and bright. It's pretty good for a while. So I'm excited to finally like prep something and have it set and we can just stick with it. Which is why I'm taking the time to make it really nice. If you were following my Instagram story the last couple days, I was on the search for a new printer because it's like ridiculous how fast I'm going through ink. So I did go to Staples yesterday and I bought an HP printer that's instant ink compatible, and tons of people have sent me their codes, which is awesome for when I register. But today I wanted to print out and use up the rest of the ink in the printer that I have. So it was a really good time to just get all of these printed. So if you print it with 4 to a page for the letters and then a full page for the posters, it was only 13 pieces of paper. So you save a lot of paper by doing these ones smaller. It was not ink saving though, but just so you know, in this set, these letters also come in just black and white. So, I was upside down, but I couldn't tell with the eyes. So if you only have a black and white printer, or you only want to print the poster pages in color, it'll save you that ink in that time. But now I'm pretty much out of black ink, which is good, and I'll just come up with something else to print to get the rest of the colored ink out so that it's not a waste. And then I have my new HP Instant Ink printer over there by my closet on the floor, ready to go. And I'm going to register it later today now that I have all of the codes from everybody that decided to share them with me. Thank you. And it looks like I'm going to get like at least 10 months free. Don't tell HP. They must love it and also hate it when people come through with all that. All right, so I think I have enough of these to put them in lamination. Hey, Caitlin. That's really sweet. Thank you. I love this whole Tech Day core set because I worked with a really talented graphic designer, Jen from Cupcakes and Curriculum. And with her expertise, it just made me feel so much more confident in the design because my background certainly is not in graphic design at all. My specialty is, you know, teaching kids technology. So trying to figure out how I want to put these in here. Lamination's always tough. Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to set it up 3 by 3. So I think I'm going to be able to set it up in the page like that. Maybe I should have done these on cardstock. If you print this and you have cardstock available, do it. Yeah, so I'll be able to get 6 letters in each, which is good. And I guess it doesn't really matter at this point if they're up or down. Some of mine are upside down. Cool, running the first one through the laminator. Who doesn't love lamination on a Thursday afternoon? I swear if they just gave teachers more time to work on their classrooms, we would be less stressed. Because I know, you know, we would all love to be the Pinterest perfect teacher with those beautiful classrooms, but who has time for it when you're worried about being an effective teacher too, right? So we try not to put that pressure on ourselves, but it certainly would feel good to have a really cute classroom that's clutter-free with beautiful furniture. So not only do we need time, but I guess we need funding too. Hey Jan, thanks for popping in. I'm just chatting. while I'm prepping this super cute, I hope, bulletin board. I want to put it up in my office here so that I can take a look at it. Does anybody have like a bulletin board at home that they put things up on to try them out and see? Well, I should ask, is anybody back to school already? Or how much time do you have left? If you still have some summer break. Hey, Carrie. Yeah, you guys get it. Oh, this one turned out a little bit crooked, the A at the end, but other than that, it's good. So I'll be able to cut these out and they'll make a great topper for my display. I feel like this would make an awesome classroom door for it to say, I am a digital age learner, and then have all of our new standards. Well, I say new, 2016, they still feel new. All the posters up there too. That'd be a fun one for when they come in. And of course, I'm a digital age learner, works great for the lab or the media specialist, the computer lab teacher, if you're a tech facilitator, or even just any classrooms that are 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 devices. I mean, who doesn't want to be a digital age learner now, right? All right, still cutting these out. I suppose it does take longer to cut them out when I'm chatting and laminating at the same time. You could always, if you're on your phone, I'm sure everybody knows this, but I just discovered it the other day. If you're watching a live video, you can kind of like put it over on the side and keep scrolling. So you're like watching it on this tiny little thumbnail and you're listening, but you can keep scrolling through Facebook to see other stuff that's happening. Justine, you start after Labor Day? The week, go into work in our rooms, yeah. I never went back to work in my room early because I live so far away from school for a few reasons, right? So I had to, if I wanted to prep some stuff, had to do it over the summer because those few precious days were taken up. And, okay, so when you're first year, even second year teacher, like sometimes you're required to come on all of those work days, but then as you get more established at the school, right, you don't have to come. Like some of those work days are optional. So then I would choose to be a little bit selfish because I knew if I went in on these days, so if I went in on the mandatory days, all the teachers would need my help. But if I go in on the days that are not mandatory, that are optional, not a lot of teachers are there those days. So those are the days that I would use to get my classroom ready. But I still, if I could get away with not going to all of them, I certainly wouldn't. And then naturally at the beginning of every school year, I have like stuff that I have to teach because it comes through. I was like what they call the tech contact at my school too. So anything, any like district mandates that were coming through, I had to go over with the staff. So I had to like prepare a presentation and get that ready, which is a little bit more stressful too, you know, because you have to like put a whole thing together. So you're trying not to be the most boring presentation of the day, or at least that was always my goal. And then if I learned about any new tech tools, I wanted to share those with the teachers. I might write up a newsletter or try to come up with some other engaging way. And then of course one year, my second year, I had to teach everybody how to build a class website in Weebly because that's what the school decided to go with. So I had to do some extra trainings. I had to make training videos for how to do that and then help people troubleshoot because they were requiring all of the teachers to have their website at least set up by the Meet the Teacher night, which for us was before school started. There's always just a million things for the tech teacher and the media specialist to do. Oh yeah, and okay, one year we got, we do M class in North Carolina, so every teacher got an iPad. So I had to set those up, get them set up on Apple Configurator, which always takes longer than planned, right? Is this all sounding familiar to you guys? It's like this never ending. I know teachers have a ton of stuff to do too, but tech teachers somehow their time gets really filled really quickly with things that have nothing to do with their own classroom. Loving reading your comments coming in. What else do we want to talk about today? I feel like I've got enough letters that I can do. I'm getting there. Look at all of these adorable letters, and they're going to be laminated soon. How fun. This stuff is seriously soothing to me. I don't know if it is to you too. I just love cutting and laminating. Well, I love printing and cutting and laminating. It all makes my teacher heart happy. Let me see if I can get these to not be crooked this time around, putting them in the laminating sheet. We'll see how it goes. Can't wait until my nephews are old enough to start helping me with some of this prep. Do you guys know about STEM bins? I know a lot of you do STEM stuff too. So my nephew just turned 5, my first nephew, and I got him STEM bins for his birthday because they're doing homeschool, like pre-K. Well, my sister's really awesome at teaching stuff. So I set up the STEM bins as his birthday present, and you should have seen his face when he opened it. It was the cutest, sweetest thing. And he loves to learn. I mean, what 5-year-old doesn't? He's just super curious about science things and likes to build with his Legos and blocks and stuff. So that was like the perfect thing. So Brooke Brown, I might have to tag you in this so that you can hear how much he absolutely adores the STEM bins. They were able to use them while traveling because they are up visiting my parents in upstate New York, and they like did a camping trip for a week, and he was able to use them to help stay busy but also keep the learning happening. I'm over here just laminating. Don't mind me. If you're just joining me, you're like, what is happening here? We're just chatting, and I'm prepping. I can't wait to see how this turns out. I think a bunch of you already purchased it, but I can still put the link to this whole set. I love laminating. What else can we talk about? So everybody still has some summer left, which is awesome. Though the other day in our group, the Tech Teacher Tribe group, it's our group, by the way, and that's how I refer to it in my life, because you all help me out in there just as much as I give answers, because you all know what you're doing. Where was I going with this? Oh, somebody's first day was the other day, and we were all like, what? How did that happen already? Like, I feel like summer just started. My summer's been super busy with my husband's golf tournaments and some of my own travel, so I feel like it's flown by. All right, this page turned out a little bit better. Some of them are still going to be a little tight of cuts, but I'll just make it work. Have you guys ever done the trick where you do you just add some like packaging tape to your lamination if you need the edges to survive a little bit longer? I do that. I mean, it's clear packaging tape anyway, so you can't even tell. Mary, you do STEM bins too? My comments must be pretty delayed because everything's coming through after. That's totally fine. I was able to find 97-cent containers at Target, and they only had like 2 colors left, so I just got half and half. But it was in like their school supply section. I had looked over at like the arts and crafts, well, because I needed to get popsicle sticks and wood blocks and all of that stuff too over from the craft area. but the containers over there were much more expensive. When I walked over to the school supplies, I was able to find like the pencil boxes a lot easier. Cool. Justine, I see your question about typing bulletin board. What do you have in mind? Because we can certainly create something out of this super cute thing. So we'll need to display like the learning targets, right? Like how many words per minute for each grade level should be their goal, and an accuracy percent. But does everybody follow the same? Like I always start with 5 words per minute in 2nd grade and then go up 5 words per minute in each grade level. So 3rd grade would be 10, 4th grade 15, 5th grade 20 words per minute, and then start at 85% accuracy and move up from there. Maybe I'll find a way to make that editable so you can do that. So it would be cool to have some display that says like the learning targets, this is what your goal should be. And then are you looking for a way to be able to like add student names underneath it, like once they achieve that? I've had it done just like on a spreadsheet before where students type their name, but I could see the need for something more than that. Isn't it crazy how like our lab setups are so different? So I had like cabinets and I had to hang things on the cabinet doors. I didn't really have like bulletin board space. So I just didn't come up with a lot of bulletin board ideas. I had to make do with the space that I had. I'm cutting out my last letter. Yay. Okay, so we will come up with something that follows this set of colors, because why not? Our whole rooms are going to be this set of colors now. Do we want vocabulary that has to do with keyboarding too? Because I know that I have the keyboard shortcut poster sets already. And I did some general vocabulary like for the word wall cards and the definition posters, but I don't think that I did all of the keyboarding ones that I could have. So now I'm thinking about how that would work. You got my wheels spinning for sure. This is what I live for. Oh, Caitlin, that's a great question. It depends on what standards you need to follow. So if you teach, you need a technology curriculum. If you can follow the ISTE standards for students, which I think are pretty, well, the new 2016 version is phenomenal. It really like, it took me some time to like accept these new standards, but once I did and really looked at them and like I wrote, you know, all of our ICANN statements, I rewrote them for these new standards. I was like, man, they are really onto something. Like this is forward thinking, it's innovative. This is creating the type of skills that we need in our workforce someday. Sorry, I was trying to align letters and talk at the same time. Jan, you are super sweet, and Justine to say that my curriculum is the best. Thank you. I don't know that it's the best, but it's like the only one that's really thorough and done for you. So it's a really great place to start, especially if you're kind of new. And it should be a really great like stepping stone to then being able to do your own thing once you feel comfortable. My whole goal with sharing the curriculum that I made was to decrease the amount of time it takes to become an effective tech teacher, right? So I take the planning out of it and show you my way in hopes that it'll save you that effort so you can focus more on classroom management, getting to know your students while feeling good about the lessons that you're doing and knowing that, you know, your administrators are going to be happy. Oh, that brings up another question. For those of you that are a tech teacher, do you have the same observation tool that the classroom teachers had? Because I did. We didn't have a separate one for tech teachers. Like the media specialist had a separate one. They're not the tech teachers. So I was being assessed on all of the same skills that a classroom teacher had to have, which I thought at first was unfair, but then I realized technology is so different that of course we need to have the same skill set as a standard teacher. Justine, are you talking about the lessons or the I can statements? So I updated the curriculum. I can actually show you some of what it includes. So in the curriculum, I didn't update much, but I did provide, each grade level now has a binder cover like that if you want it, because that's how I set it up. You guys are so lucky that you're in my office and I can just like show you. But the cool thing is that I created, because I heard this from everybody, unit covers, I guess, to help you organize. And then on every lesson plan and rationale page, I put the grade level, because I heard from a lot of people like, oh my goodness, what would I do if my binder ever like fell and I couldn't put things back in order where they go. So now on every rationale page, I'll show you, it's got the grade level down on the bottom. And then on the lesson plan pages themselves, I took out the direct URLs to the lessons, because every time that I moved something, it would break the link, because that's just kind of like the way that Weebly works. So I wanted to be able to add things in each unit without having to update these pages, update it on TPT, and let all of you know, and then you'd all have to print it again. So you just get the one main link to the website, and then you find it based on the lesson title. And I went from quarters to projects or units. I think I called it projects. So you can find them that way. So what I ended up doing in my binder is I set up tabs, and each unit or project got its own tab. So then I can just flip through like internet safety. Third grade does typing Olympics. Super fun. I know I'm like not supposed to say that word out loud on Facebook. So those are the real updates that I made. And then the lessons that were on the bonus pages before, I moved them into the curriculum sequence. So you'll be able to find those too. So you certainly don't have to reprint everything. You can, because I didn't take anything out. I only added to it. I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Have one more page to laminate. So where were we with that question from Caitlin? Depending on the grade levels you teach, I have a full year curriculum for K through 5 for technology that follows the 2016 ISTE standards. And I know that I still we're working on adding more for probably computational thinking and being global collaborators. But it's like a work in progress. And so like for global collaborators, so many people have to do it at the school level versus me being able to come up with something that'll work for everybody. But that's why I have like the Padlets on there, because they can use those to collaborate. If you have Google Classroom or Edmodo, you have a way for them to be able to communicate a little bit easier. But I didn't want anyone to have to like make accounts for this stuff to work. Cool. All right, my last set of letters. And now I can start to cut them out. Oh, and now I have to decide if I do want to laminate these or not. I wouldn't say not, but then when I go to photograph it, it'll have that glare. I should have just printed them on cardstock so that I didn't have to worry about it. But they are super cute. Oh, cool, Caitlin. Yes, get your school to buy using a purchase order. Be on the lookout and for the back to school TBT sale. I mean, they haven't announced it yet, but it's got to be, in August. And August starts next week, right? So if you can get the purchase order ready for your school and they submit it, they don't have to pay. They have 30 days to pay. But if they submit it to TPT with the sale price locked in, then they get it for the sale price, which is awesome. I don't really know how it works, but I'm really grateful that they do it that way. And then, I don't know if you guys all knew this, but since we're talking about TPT, I'll bring this up. Did you know that they are opening up this pathway for school administrators to pay for the resources under a school administrator account and then all digitally push the licenses into the teacher accounts? So the teacher still chooses the resource and requests it from their administrator, but then the administrator buys it, pushes it into your account so you can still download it from your account. Your administrator no longer has to like put something on a flash drive, and then it makes sure that you get the right license. And there's like there's going to be a school's licensing option. So like if you were to leave being a tech teacher, the school would be able to take a resource out of your account and give it to the next teacher, which is really cool. So if you know that your administrators are like cool with buying stuff from TPT and they're interested in, it's like a pilot program at this point, if they're interested in getting into it, have them go to, I think it's schools.tpt.com, and they can get an invitation into the pilot. And then if they want to get like sped up in the process for the pilot, give me an email and I can email my contact at TPT to let them know to like let them into the pilot program sooner, which is cool. Tiffany, how much is the K5 bundle? Right now, it's $144. As I keep adding updates to it, the price will only be going up. But at this point, I don't have any like quickly coming updates. So I imagine all of August, it'll be $144 for all of K through 5. You can buy individual grade levels if you don't teach all the grades K through 5, but I was able to bundle it together. Whereas it should have been $180 to buy each of the 6th grade levels by themselves, but if you buy it as a bundle, it's $144 right now. Last year when I first made it and it didn't have all of these amazing extra goodies, it was a little bit less, but I've added so much to it over the last school year that I'm so excited about. And I've been getting really amazing feedback. Now that I made it compatible, well, I added, what am I trying to say? I added projects for Google Sheets, Slides, and Docs. Now everybody's happy with me. Let me know what else I can add too, because I mean, I work for you, really, right? And I will work on, if I can figure out the logistics of it, work on adding some more stuff to it. This live was not supposed to just be for talking about the curriculum, but I am glad that you brought it up and that I was able to answer some questions. Because we are trying to make digital age learners, right? It's a lot faster to cut out lamination than it is to cut those letters. And they're so colorful and amazing. How cool is that? I love it. Does anybody have any other questions for me? Keep them coming if you do, because I love it. Did everybody see my most recent new product, which is tutorials for building a Weebly website? I partnered up with Weebly. They gave me permission to make and sell tutorials that were specific to just teachers, because their tutorials that they have right now are not great. Tiffany, just joining us. I am making a display, bulletin board, display, whatever you want it to be, the top of it's going to say, I am a digital age learner. So I have all these letters. And then there's a poster for each of our ISTE standards. And the colors match the colors from the tech decor set that I partnered up with Cupcakes and Curriculum to design for me, since she's such a talented designer. There's no way that I could have made them look this cute. Jan, no pressure, but I think you do have almost everything. And I do plan on continuing to make, this one project that I'm working on, but man, it is so time consuming. I'm making, have you guys heard of like the breakout rooms? I've done 2 of them in like real life. One of them had like a zombie in it, and we had to like figure out the clues, and the zombie was trying to chase us and stuff. Well, anyway, there are classroom breakouts now, and I'm making digital breakouts. So you don't have to have the box, you don't have to have the locks. It's all just done digitally, and I'm housing them in Google Slides. You can also download as PowerPoint. And I've made a couple so far, but coming up with the puzzles, I mean, it's fun, but it takes me like all day to come up with what I want to do, and then I have like this epiphany. I've had to discover a lot of new online tools for making the puzzles. Like Discovery Ed has these awesome, you can make like hidden message crosswords where, word searches, where the students find all the words and then all the letters that are left over have like a clue in them. So I'm just finding stuff like that. And I'm working on making a breakout, a digital breakout for each of the units for internet safety. So I'm just using like the unit topics that Common Sense Media uses. So far I have privacy and security done, but I'm working on, so I'll do a version for grades 3 through 5 and a version for K through 2. And they have so many units. You could pick maybe like 2 units to do with each grade level. And then by the time, they get 3rd through 5th grade, they've done all of the units. And, you didn't have to do 6 breakouts in the same school year, because that would get kind of monotonous. All right. These are all here. Yay. Now I have to put them in order. So it's going to spell out, I am a digital learner. I'm not going to be doing this right now while we're live, because I have like no way to hold you up, and I don't know which wall I want to put them on. I really just need to like buy a big bulletin board so that I can try this out. But we prepped and chatted. So now again, I have one poster for each of the standards, and they're so cute. So somebody shared in the group, the Tech Teacher Tribe, that poster that had these like little shortcuts. So empowered learner, use it, right? Learn how to use the tech. Digital citizen, protect it. I love it. Protecting our stuff. And then knowledge constructor, find it, right? That's our research component. Innovative designer, make it. Love that. Computational thinker, solve it. That's our puzzles and our codes, right? Creative communicator, share it, because we're communicating. And global collaborator, connect it. So these all turned out so cute. And then the wording here is directly from ISTE. It's like what they called the standard. So that would be a fun one to go over with your students the first few weeks of school, or like as you, like if you have an I can statement that is attached to one of these, they all will be. But I mean, you can point these out as you talk about the I can statements to help them make sense out of it. Really fun. All right, now I get to go put this all together, and I need to get a snack. Thank you so much for joining me for my prep and chat. As I set up my new HP Instant Ink printer, I'm sure that I'm going to be printing a ton of stuff that I will prep and chat with you. So I'll be back probably in another day or two. So see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.